Have you ever wondered if an object of immense power, something straight out of a fantasy story, could have actually existed? Not just in movies or books, but in our own history. An object so powerful it could give one person control over the entire world, not just over men and armies, but over animals, the wind, and even beings from an unseen dimension. For thousands of years, whispers of such an object have echoed through time. A mystical ring, a special seal that disappeared after the death of a great prophet, becoming one of the most mysterious and sought-after artifacts in history. This isn't just any story. With this ring, a king was said to rule over jinn, those powerful beings made of smokeless fire, and command them to build magnificent structures that would be impossible for human hands. He could understand the language of animals, and even had authority over the winds themselves. This incredible story has surprising similarities to tales many of us know and love, like the one about the ring shown in the movie The Lord of the Rings. But the story of this real ring, the ring of Prophet Sulaiman, is even more astonishing. It's mentioned in ancient holy texts and has been the subject of countless legends. Prophecies say that this ring of extraordinary power will one day reappear, falling into the hands of a power you would never expect, and it will be used to influence all of humanity. Recently, there have even been news and claims that the ring has been found. So, who is searching for this ring today? And what is the unbelievable true story behind it? Unbelievable mysteries await you. If you are ready, let's begin. The story of this ring doesn't start with Prophet Sulaiman, but much, much earlier. To understand its origins, we have to go back to the very beginning, to the first man, Prophet Adam. When Adam and Hawa were sent from paradise to earth thousands of years ago, Prophet Adam brought a gift with him, a ring given to him by Allah. This wasn't just a piece of jewelry, it was special. The ring that came from paradise carried a unique knowledge and power. Engraved on it were words that declared, "The kingdom belongs to Allah." It was a symbol that all power and dominion truly belonged to God alone. It was believed that whoever wore this ring in this world would gain extraordinary abilities. Prophet Adam, who is said to have lived for nearly 1,000 years, eventually returned to paradise after his death. For a very long time, as humanity multiplied and spread across the earth, the story of the ring faded into legend. Then, after many generations, Allah sent the angel Jibril with a mission concerning that very ring. It was time for it to be given to a person on earth again as a sacred trust. That person was none other than the Prophet Dawood. And so, the Ring of Power left paradise for the second time. But who was Prophet Dawood at that time, and why was the ring given to him? Prophet Dawood lived about 1,000 years after Prophet Ibrahim. In his childhood, he was a humble shepherd, looking after his family's sheep. As he grew, he joined the army, but at first, he wasn't well known. During that time, the children of Israel faced a terrifying enemy, a warrior named Jalut, who you might also know as Goliath. Jalut was a giant, described in many sources as being almost 3 meters tall, and he was considered nearly impossible to defeat. During one of the great battles, it was the young Prophet Dawood who bravely challenged Jalut. Using only a simple sling, he struck the giant warrior and brought him down. This incredible victory drew everyone's attention to him, and in a short time, he became famous and beloved by his people. The Quran tells us about this in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 251. It says, "And Dawood killed Jalut, and Allah gave him kingdom and wisdom, and taught him what he willed." After this victory, Allah gave great blessings to Prophet Dawood. But it's the story of how the ring was then passed to his son that is truly remarkable. Prophet Dawood had 19 sons, and he had already decided in his heart to choose Sulaiman to be his successor. He knew that the children of Israel might object. After all, Sulaiman was only 12 years old at the time. His brothers were older and stronger. This situation was quite similar to the story of Prophet Yusuf, who was also one of the youngest among his brothers. For this reason, Prophet Dawood, with his God-given wisdom, devised a test. He gathered his sons before the people and asked them a series of questions that Jibril had given him. He asked, "What is the most beautiful thing in the world? What is the ugliest thing? What is the roughest thing? And what is the sweetest thing?" Each of his sons gave different answers, but it was only the young Sulaiman who gave the correct answers to all of them. The test, however, became even harder. Prophet Dawood was full of wisdom and had a heart deeply connected to his Lord. He needed to be absolutely sure. So, he devised one final trial. Prophet Dawood wrote the names of each of his sons on their staffs and locked them in a room. Later, when they entered the room again, only the staff of Prophet Sulaiman had blossomed and grown leaves. After this clear sign, Sulaiman was accepted by everyone, and he took his first step toward kingship. In this way, the choice of Sulaiman was accepted by all, because he had proven his wisdom in a way that no one could deny. Now, with this ring, Sulaiman's mission truly began. This ring is known among Muslims as Hatim Sulaiman, while others call it the Seal of Solomon or the Star of David. It was inscribed with one of the hidden names of Allah, a name that carried a secret knowledge known only to very few people and angels. With this secret knowledge on the ring, and by Allah's permission, Prophet Sulaiman was given power unlike any other. He became one of the greatest rulers in history, commanding not just humans, but also the jinn, the animals, and the winds. This was the beginning of an extraordinary time for Prophet Sulaiman, the prophet known in history as the one who showed the most miracles. The things you will hear now about his life and his incredible kingdom will truly amaze you. Allah had granted Sulaiman not an ordinary kingdom, but the greatest miraculous rule in history. With the ring, he commanded his armies, but what an army it was! The Quran tells us that his armies of jinn, humans, and birds were gathered for him, and they were kept in perfect order. Imagine a battlefield unlike any other. At the front marched lions, eagles, and other wild beasts. Behind them came thousands of mounted horsemen, the finest warriors of the children of Israel. And following them were the invisible jinn soldiers, beings created from fire, moving through the air and reaching anywhere instantly. The sky itself became a network of scouts, with thousands of birds making up Sulaiman's reconnaissance force. Eagles watched enemy movements from above, while hoopoes carried messages and brought back news from every corner of the battlefield. To his enemies, it must have felt as if the very sky had turned against them. But Sulaiman's power wasn't just for war. He used the jinn to build incredible structures, like the great sanctuary, Masjid al-Aqsa, a task his father had left unfinished. Human workers could have taken years, but for the jinn, it was different. They worked day and night. The Quran says that any of them who disobeyed the command were made to taste the punishment of blazing fire. So, the chain devils carried out his commands without rest. The children of Israel were astonished as they saw gigantic structures rising with no sound and no visible workers. Sulaiman's wealth was also legendary, but it didn't just come from war. He sent the jinn deep into the seas, and because they could live underwater, they brought back the most precious pearls from the depths of the oceans. They also dug beneath the earth and mountains, bringing out gold and jewels. Gold and silver became so abundant that, according to some texts, they lost their value and were considered as common as stones. This magnificent kingdom and its powerful ruler were known far and wide, but it is the story of Prophet Sulaiman and the Queen of Sheba that truly shows the extent of his wisdom and power. One day, as Sulaiman was inspecting his army, he noticed that an important bird, a hoopoe known as Hudhud, was missing. The Hudhud's job was to act as a spy, gathering intelligence. Soon after, the Hudhud returned with incredible news. It had flown a very long distance, guided by a feeling that it was about to discover something important. It had reached the land of the Queen of Sheba. The Hudhud told Prophet Sulaiman, "I have brought you certain news about a people you do not yet know. I saw a woman ruling them, sitting upon a great throne and having everything. But she and her people do not worship Allah. I saw them prostrating to the Sunday. Upon hearing this, Prophet Sulaiman wrote a letter and gave it to the Hudhud to deliver. He said, "We will see whether you are telling the truth or lying. Take this letter and deliver it to them." The Hudhud flew back to the land of Sheba, found the queen's royal palace, and dropped the letter right before her. The queen, whose name was Balkis, opened it and read, "This message is from Sulaiman. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, do not show pride against me. Come to me and submit yourselves in peace." Queen Balkis was powerful and wise in her own right. She gathered her council and told them about the letter. Many of her advisors leaned toward war, but she was more cautious. She feared what would happen if they fought such a powerful king. She said, "When kings enter a land, they ruin it and make the honored people among it the lowest. I fear such a thing may happen to us. So let us send them gifts through our messengers, and then wait to hear what news the messengers bring back." Her proposal was accepted. But Prophet Sulaiman already knew what had been decided in her council because the Hudhud had informed him. So, Sulaiman ordered his own army to prepare, to show the messengers a display of power they could never imagine. When Balkis's messengers arrived, they suddenly found themselves face to face with a mighty army of humans, animals, and jinn. They were shocked. The army was not made of humans alone. There were lions, tigers, elephants, and countless birds. They even saw that the army could travel from one place to another on the wind. Prophet Sulaiman refused the queen's expensive gifts, saying, "Do you try to offer me wealth? What Allah has given me is far better than what He has given you. Take back your gift and return with it. If I come against you with a force you cannot even imagine, I will drive you out of your city as humble and powerless people." The messengers returned and told Queen Balkis everything. Realizing she could not fight such a king, she decided to go to Sulaiman's palace herself. But the story doesn't end there. At the same time, Prophet Sulaiman held a gathering in his own city. He said to his council, "I expect the queen will come to meet me, but before she arrives, who among you can bring me her throne?" One of the jinn under his command stepped forward and said, "I can bring it to you before you rise from your seat." But then a scholar in the assembly, a man whom Allah had given special knowledge, said, "I will bring it to you before your eyes can even blink." As soon as Prophet Sulaiman accepted this, in the blink of an eye, the magnificent throne of Queen Balkis appeared right before him. For the first time in human history, something like teleportation had taken place. Everyone was astonished. When Queen Balkis reached the palace entrance, she saw her own throne and was amazed. Sulaiman then showed her into his palace, where the floor was made of crystal clear glass with flowing water underneath. It was so transparent that it looked like a deep pool. Thinking it was water, Balkis lifted her dress to avoid getting wet. Prophet Sulaiman then said, "There is no need to lift your garment. This is a clear crystal floor." This was the final proof of Sulaiman's incredible power and wisdom. Balkis realized how weak her nation's beliefs were in comparison. She understood that the sun she and her people worshipped was nothing but a trap made attractive by Satan. For the first time, the brightness of the sun went dark in her heart, and a new light, one that never sets, filled her soul. The queen decided it was time to declare her faith. Soon after, Prophet Sulaiman and Queen Balkis were married, and the people of Sheba followed their queen, abandoning sun worship and beginning to bow only to Allah. Prophet Sulaiman's life was full of such miracles and glory. He was both a king and a prophet. But for a ruler whose life was filled with such incredible events, it is perhaps the shocking death of Prophet Solomon that holds one of the most profound lessons. When the end of his life came, a surprising death awaited him. One day, Sulaiman withdrew into his private chamber in the palace. Alone, while leaning on his staff, his soul was taken by the angel of death, Azrael. The prophet remained standing still, resting upon his staff. Days and months passed. People who saw him thought he was alive, and out of respect, they did not disturb him. Even the jinn believed he was still alive and continued working under his command, carrying out the hard and humiliating tasks he had set for them. They had been working in vain, for their master had long been dead. Finally, a small termite began to gnaw at his staff. As the days passed, the wood weakened and decayed until finally it broke. Prophet Sulaiman's body fell to the ground. Only then did everyone realize that he had died long before. The Quran tells us this story to show us that even the jinn do not know the unseen. With the death of Prophet Sulaiman, Allah caused the ring on his finger to disappear. The ring was lost, and until today, many people across the world are still searching for it, hoping to unlock its secrets. And that is the incredible story of Prophet Sulaiman and his powerful ring, a tale of faith, power, and ultimate submission to the one true Creator. What an amazing journey, from paradise to the hands of prophets, and then lost to the world, leaving behind a mystery for all time. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more incredible stories from our shared religious history, please click the like button. Leave a comment below to let us know what you thought, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us reach more people and share these amazing stories with the world. This is Religious Story Television. We'll see you in the next video. May Allah protect you.